Yo! This is a video about my experience in Ghana. It was amazing. Torch. It was like that. Let me just stop faking. It was tough. I loved it. Tough in a good way. I spent 2 weeks in Kumasi, Ghana. Huh? Kumasi, Ghana. And it was something that I will remember for the rest of my life. I participated in the medical volunteering program with a program called PMGY, or Plan My Gap Year. They offer a host of experiences from Ghana to India to Ecuador to Peru, everywhere, every continent except for Antarctica and Australia. So I left America at JFK, or Ronald Reagan, because I'm from the DMV, from Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I live in Maryland, and the designated airport to go to Ghana was Ronald Reagan Airport. So I left from Ronald Reagan Airport on July 4th, and I came back on July 19th. So from July 4th, I went to the Ronald Reagan Airport, and my flight got canceled the first day.
Oh, man.
So I wasn't able to go until Sunday, where I tried again, and I went to JFK Airport in New York, and then we flew to Accra, which is in Ghana, and that took about 10 hours. So I was on a flight for 10 whole hours, 2 hours from DC to New York, and then another 10 hours to Ghana.
Wow.
That was probably the worst part of the trip. Then when I got to Ghana, I was beautifully welcomed, or modestly welcomed, by a young man by the name of Seth Mensah. He is the program director for the Ghana PMGY experience, and he was there to welcome me and invite me into the country as we waited for a second volunteer to come, which her name was Emma. And originally I thought I was going to take a bus to, well, I didn't know for sure, but he mentioned there was a bus. Seth mentioned there was a bus from Accra to Ghana, and that bus took 5 hours.
And I was, 5 hours.
That is crazy. Another 5 hours from 10 hours flight to 5 hours to Kumasi. I don't know how that was going to work. Thankfully, Emma came around and mentioned that she was going to take a flight to Kumasi from Accra. And I was like, oh, you can do that? What? Let me find out about this flight. And I found out about it. It was just like 449 CD, which is probably like 60 to 70 US dollars. And I was like, bet, I'm taking this 30-minute flight instead of a 5-hour flight. So I did that with Emma. I took a small coach or shuttle flight to Kumasi, which was 30 minutes. We arrived there, and then we met with Jay-Z, or not the real Jay-Z, but his name was, I know him as Jay-Z. His name was Kwesi. Kwesi. He is a really cool person. He was also very inviting, as much as Seth, and he drove us to the volunteer house. And that night, I met the people who were there at the volunteer house, because a few other people went out to the bar and got wasted, drunk, and the people were nice there. So in total in the house, the volunteer house, there were 30 boys and girls. I forgot like the breakdown, but there were more girls than there were boys. And there was a dynamic in the house that was sort of like, not Love Island, but like, it was basically like a reality show. We always joke, like, you know how like on reality TV shows where they go into a room and then they talk to the camera or talk to the audience and tell them like their opinions about what's going on. So it was always funny. We thought we should have had that. We managed to enjoy ourselves and make very close relationships with each other. Like, I still talk to some of the people that were in the volunteer house to this day. And yeah, so that was the first day. I got there, the first night. So everybody that was coming back from the bar that was drunk, they introduced themselves and like, they were like, no, they weren't literally like that, but they were drunk and introducing themselves. And I don't know how to explain it, but it was hilarious and it was very like warm, kind of. It was a nice experience. So then on the second day we had orientation. Luckily I didn't miss anything with my delayed flight. So luckily that second day, that Tuesday, we had orientation. We went to the school or the orphanage and the hospital to get introduced to our projects. And I really liked the school. The two places that stood out to me the most was the school and the hospital, but I only spent time in the hospital. I enjoyed myself a lot at the childcare. I took a few videos. And of course, the medical facility that I was at. So they have different departments in the medical facility. And we got introduced to all of the people in those departments. And then the Wednesday was my first day of project. And I decided to spend my first day in the maternity ward where they deliver babies. So they monitor women before, during, and after pregnancy. And that first day, get ready, people. Drum roll, please. I delivered a baby. I delivered a baby on my first freaking day. And when I tell you that was the most out of this world experience that I've ever had. Maybe jumping out of a plane was the most. But it was crazy. It was crazy, baby. It was crazy. When I tell you, seeing the head, let me just go through the process. Like, first, the mother comes in on the bed, laying sideways, screaming because she has no epidural, she has no anesthesia, no pain medication, nothing. It's all raw. She is on the table, and then they tell her to open her legs, flip over, and the baby is crowning, turtle head, like when I tell you, seeing that, it's like, whoa, like they're first, you know that there's a baby inside of the woman because her stomach is protruding. But to see a baby come out, it was fascinating, honestly. In the process of telling the mother to push, and Twee, you say, chim, 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 chim. And when I was telling the mom to push, it was like adrenaline rush experience because as the mom is pushing, the head is coming out, but as she stops pushing, it goes back in a little bit. Push, 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 come out, stop pushing, go back in a little bit. Push, push, push. So I'm telling her to push, and I'm saying chim, chim, chim. And as I'm saying chim, as she gets closer and closer to the baby coming out, I'm getting more intense, like chim, 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 chim. And eventually the baby comes out with a chin right outside of the head, and I stick my fingers underneath, grab under the chin, grab the top of the head, and I pull, and the baby slides out, and I just felt so glorious. Like I am the first person to touch this baby at age zero. And it was riveting. And I just felt so alive at that moment and so privileged. And I felt so much soul from that baby that I was stunned. Like I was literally floating in midair. When, everything was over, I was just standing there and I had nothing else to do. And I remember I was listening and they told me to help deliver the placenta. I forgot all about the placenta. So they say, tug on the umbilical cord. No, first they cut the umbilical cord. So I got the opportunity to cut the umbilical cord because the father wasn't there. I don't know where the father was in any of this. So I cut the umbilical cord, and then they tell me to tug on the umbilical cord to deliver the placenta. So massaging the uterus, I pull. I couldn't get it, so she helped me out, delivered the placenta, and the placenta was huge. I didn't realize how large the placenta is. I didn't realize the consistency, any of it. And I got to experience what the placenta looks like. You know, some people eat it. There's a whole world regarding the placenta. So honestly, that's all I wanted to tell you guys. Everything else after that was suboptimal. And then throughout, I went to different places like Mole, Safari. I got to feed the monkeys. I got to pound fufu in the village. It was an amazing experience. So if you guys want to hear more of my Ghana experience, just comment in the comment in the comment section, and I'll try to talk more about Ghana, but I don't think I have enough time to continue. So yeah. But yeah, that was my experience. All right, guys. See ya. Adios.